I believe that astrology, or what we call as Jyotisha has been an integral part of Hindu Dharma. Okay, to the extent that it is believed that in order to have expertise in Vedas, there has to be certain Vedanga, which is limbs of the Vedas, a person must know. And of these limbs, various things are there, Sanskrit and ritualism and a couple of other things. I'm not going into that. But one of the limbs is considered as Jyotisha. Jyotisha was considered as the eye of the Vedas. Okay, it gives you an ability to see beyond the normal. Okay, now development of Jyotish when it comes to the West, I think it's possible that two aspects are there. Now I can't be 100% sure of this because perhaps a historian will be able to tell you better, but there has been a parallel developments of astrology both in ancient West and as well as India. Plus, it is also possible that some parts of the astrological techniques that was there might have migrated from West to India. But once it came here, it not only got modified, it got, let's say, expanded to a level which was not there originally. Some of the techniques. Now, this is what scholars believe. I personally have no opinion. Either way, it doesn't matter whether it fully organically developed here or it developed but there was some input from the West also. I think some of the astrologers do mention texts with this title of Yavana and all that. Yavana means the Greek texts and all that. So there could have been some cultural exchanges. Okay. Now, coming to the first point is that there is, however, a strong difference between the Western astrology. For the sake of this conversation, I'll use the word Western astrology to denote all that is in the West, while we have Jyotisha here. One of the primary differences is that, the zodiac belt is an imaginary belt, by the way. Okay, looking at the stars and the nakshatras, so there are certain animal figures and all that have been created, and this was observed by people who are sort of sky watchers. It was independently observed in India, it was independently observed in the West, etc. So, but remember that it's an imaginary belt. So you are assuming that this is a belt like this. Okay, so and it is divided into what we call in our term the rashis or the houses. Okay, 12 rashis are there, 12 houses are there.
As in 12 signs in the West?
12 signs.
And for us is 12 rashis.
Rashis. Okay. Key difference is that the zodiac belt, there is okay, before that also, let me just say that at an ancient time in India, astrology was not divorced from mathematics. So if you did not know, there is a part called Phalita. Phalita means which is predictive. And there is a part called Ganit. Ganit means mathematics. So if you did not know the mathematics, you could not become an astrologer. It's not possible. Today you have softwares and this and that to make things, but those days you need to know how will you calculate the position, tentative position of the planets. And there's a mathematics involved in the West also. So people who were sort of astronomers, obviously in astronomy there is mathematical ability that is required. Not everybody can do that. So only more or less those people, or those who had a scientific mindset, by the way, they were the people interested in things like astrology. Okay. So for example, I think if I'm not mistaken, even Newton had, while he was a great scientist, he also had many of these beliefs and he had written about these things. Okay, so it was something that was not divorced from each other. It was parallel to each other. If you were not good with looking at the skies and figuring out the constellations and things like that and the mathematics, you could not do this. Okay, now having said that, so there is a calculation based on which the zodiac is defined. Okay, some mathematical calculation is there inherently. Here there is something known as precision of equinoxes. I'm not going into the details of it. Okay, this is from astronomy. Anybody interested can find out more of this. But so the zodiac is an imaginary belt. Now we from the Hindu philosophers, they saw the zodiac in the background of the stars, the nakshatras. The stars are very far off. So stars are outside of our galaxy, they're very far off. Okay, so on the background of the stars, they defined the zodiac belt. Whereas the West did not do it this way. They defined the zodiac belt using some other parameters. Okay, now this caused over long periods of time, this caused a difference in the tilt of the zodiacs. So basically what happens is, effectively, the Western zodiac and the Jyotisha zodiac has about, I think, 23-24 degrees difference in them, in the tilt. Which results in what? So if you are born in, so when you say a generic statement that I'm a Gemini or a Taurus or whatever it is, so first of all, the very average statement is that's taken as the position of the sun, okay, in the Western system. The sun is in Gemini, sun is in Taurus, so you are saying that you are in Taurus. But if you use the Hindu calculation, you might find that the position is different. Instead of Taurus, it may be in Aries. This 23-degree difference causes a difference in the position of the planets when you are trying to make a chart. Okay. Difference number one. Difference number two is that the West uses certain different techniques, at least the older astrological writings, little bit that I've gone through. I'm not extremely proficient in the Western system. It uses a different set of techniques, whereas the Hindus use a different set of techniques. We have wide variety of techniques because Jyotish has been developed over centuries by some of the finest minds, Parashara, Varaha, Mihira, etc. They were fantastic people, excellent high IQ, terrific individuals. Okay, so as I said, they were also capable and knowledgeable in multiple other fields, in mathematics and things like that. So it went in parallel. So obviously, somebody who's good in mathematics has to be highly intelligent.